Mars has always called to us. Long before rockets or rovers, humans looked up at the night sky and wondered if another world could ever be home. Mars stands out, close enough to reach, familiar enough to imagine, and distant enough to feel like a new beginning. For generations, it has represented more than a planet. It represents possibility. And while Mars is harsh, unforgiving, and alien, human history is a story of surviving exactly those kinds of places. So the question isn't whether Mars is difficult, it's how humanity could adapt, as it always has. If humans ever live beyond Earth, Mars is the most realistic place to begin. Its day is nearly the same length as ours, which means human sleep cycles can remain stable. It has seasons, ice locked beneath its surface, and a solid world to build on. Unlike Venus, where pressure crushes instantly, or gas giants with no ground at all, Mars offers something rare. A planet where structures can be anchored, resources can be extracted, and long-term presence is possible. Not because it is welcoming, but because it can be worked with. Because it is possible. Mars is not Earth. Its atmosphere is thin and unbreathable. Radiation reaches the surface. Temperatures swing violently. Dust storms can last for weeks. So humans wouldn't live on Mars. They would live within it. Early habitats would likely be buried beneath the surface, using Martian soil as natural radiation shielding. Thick walls and pressure systems would create Earth-like interiors. Artificial gravity could be simulated through movement and exercise. Temperature would be tightly controlled. Mars would remain hostile outside, but survivable inside. This is not science fiction. These are engineering problems humanity already knows how to solve. On Mars, nothing can be wasted. Air would be recycled continuously, carbon dioxide would be scrubbed and reused, and oxygen would be generated from water or the atmosphere itself. Water would be extracted from underground ice, purified and reused again and again. Food would grow indoors, in controlled greenhouses, under artificial lighting, using carefully managed nutrients. Every system would be monitored. Every failure would be analyzed, and over time, survival would become routine. Mars wouldn't provide life, but it would allow humans to sustain it. Living on Mars would reshape what it means to be human. Movement would feel lighter under weaker gravity. Muscles and bones would require constant maintenance. Life would be slower and more deliberate. Outside walks would require suits. Inside spaces would become deeply personal. Over time, astronauts would stop being visitors. They would become residents. Experiments would become infrastructure. Temporary shelters would become permanent habitats. Mars wouldn't make humans stronger overnight, but it would make them adapt. And adaptation has always been our greatest strength. Technology alone is not enough. Living on Mars would test identity. Communication with Earth would be delayed. Conversations would become messages sent across silence. Home would feel impossibly far away. So survival would depend on community. Shared routines, shared purpose, shared meaning. Over time, Mars wouldn't just be a mission. It would become a place with memories, traditions, stories, a place shaped not by technology, but by human connection. Mars may never be easy, but living there would teach us lessons Earth never could. How to survive with limits, how to respect resources, and how fragile life really is. Mars would remind us that worlds like Earth are rare, and that homes are not guaranteed by the universe. And we also may learn how to live in even harsher conditions. Mars does not promise comfort. It does not promise safety. It does not promise success. What it offers instead is the chance to try. to apply everything we know about survival, to test our ability to adapt, to ask who we become when Earth is no longer beneath our feet. Humanity has never survived because the path was easy. We survived because we learned, adapted, and moved forward. And one day, quietly, carefully, deliberately, that journey may lead us to live on a red world beneath a distant sun. Mars does not promise us a future. It only offers the possibility of one. So the question isn't whether we can reach Mars. We already know that we can. The question is, will we choose to stay?